for joining us. I'm Mary Yañez, Director of the Senior Adult Program, and this is Mature Living. Thank you for joining us this week. We have some wonderful guests that are going to be talking about some interesting things that will help families. It'll help the family members of all ages, but in particular with this interview, I've invited Barry Bogle, who is the Director of the Law Enforcement Training Academy for the Continuing Education and Workforce program at the college. Now, Barry, thank you for being with us. I think this is the first time you joined us.
Yes, it is, and thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here.
Great. There's so many things to talk about, so I want to get right into it. Tell me, you're the director of the Law Enforcement Academy training. What kinds of programs do you offer?
Well, actually, we offer all the fun stuff at the college. Okay, just nothing boring. Nothing boring in my area. Let me see if I can try and organize a little bit for you. First of all, I'm in charge of all the law enforcement training, which involves peace officers, federal officers, security, and also civilian firearms programs and things like this. But I'm also involved in a lot of the driving courses that we have, which includes adult driving for people needing to get their license that never had the earlier driver's education. I'm in charge of the teen driving, which we do at the high schools, and also our motorcycle driving, where the students can go ahead and do the training, do the actual performance training, so that when they go to Department of Public Safety, they don't only have to take the written test. Excellent.
Where are your programs located?
Okay, well, everything is located except for the teen driving, which of course goes to the high schools, over at the Law Enforcement Training Academy, which is at the Mission del Paso campus. We actually have our own standalone building where we do all the training. In fact, where we're located, we have an indoor shooting range, which facilitates our training right there, and actually is a big draw for all kinds of students to come in there to go ahead and do their training, but also we're open to the public under certain conditions for civilian marksmanship and training courses and things like that. And that's one of the things I want to focus with you this morning, because a lot of people don't know that we have it open to the public. And if I could start there, just a little bit about the Law Enforcement Training Academy, and then on the civilian programs especially. Is that
yes? Go ahead.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
we want to know as much as possible.
Well, we are one of 3 academies here in the region. The only other 2 for law enforcement are of course the El Paso Police Academy and the El Paso Sheriff's Academy. But we're actually an academy where a student, if they qualify, can come to us and they will pay their own way, and then once they get the training, they can actually market themselves throughout the state in law enforcement. And what a lot of people don't realize is law enforcement is a very big career right now. It's very dynamic, and it's commanding a lot better salaries, I can guarantee you, than when I first became a police officer many decades ago. So, for example, regionally, a certified peace officer, or someone who's had our training, can usually start about $35,000 a year. Now, if they go a little bit east from here in Texas, salaries can range starting around $45,000. And we've seen them with a bachelor's degree and starting in the mid-50s.
Wow,
so
that's so great.
Yes, exactly. And we're talking about entry level. And when I say that, in many cases, it's just with a few semester hours of college.
Yes.
So it doesn't take a lot. The main thing is getting through the academy. Of course, we've already established they have a clean background, things like this.
Yes.
And the age is they need to be 21 by the time they finish the academy, but there's no upper age limit. We've had people in their 50s and 60s actually go ahead and go through the training.
That's
so it's,
excellent.
yes, it's really open in terms of qualified people getting in. But so we do 3 classes a year for the peace officers. We have 2-day classes, which as soon as one ends, they're about 5 months long. As soon as one ends, we start up a new one. And then we have 1 nighttime academy, which runs almost the entire year.
Wow.
Because it takes 784 hours
to complete the course.
To complete the program.
That's
right.
Wonderful.
It's broken down into 5 phases, but it's very extensive.
What is the cost for registration? And of course, registration is coming up, or
Right.
just started
Right.
For this
Well,
semester.
for that program, for the entire program, it runs roughly about $4,400.
Okay.
But we do break it up into the different 5 phases, so they only have to pay for each phase they're going through. But they have to take these in order to go ahead and go through. So they have, for example, we're recruiting right now for our next day class, which is going to be, I think, starting the very 1st of July, and also for our next evening class, which is going to start in September.
Excellent. So how many students? I noticed in the enrollment you have a ton of students.
Well, a lot of that is attributed to the fact that we do facilitate training for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And they bring a lot of their officers in to do training daily, Monday through Friday. So that's where a lot of our student count comes from. But we basically train between 70 and 100 candidates for peace officer every year.
Amazing.
So that's a lot.
That is so good.
Our classes average about 35 per class.
So people can call and ask any questions that they might have.
Absolutely.
Whether they're qualified when the semester starts.
Right.
How do I pay, or
right.
you know?
Certainly, they can call 915-831-7118, and somebody will help them and refer them to whoever they need to talk to.
Yes.
If I could talk about some of the civilian programs, though, I mean, we have our security certification also for security officers, and but the civilian market we're just really getting into. We do have the license to carry programs, and which we try to run those the license to carry programs we try to run at least twice a month on a Saturday and on evenings of like a Tuesday, Wednesday. But we're actually going to be trying to expand that because there's a lot more interest now in license to carry. So we're realizing that to meet that demand, we're going to probably start having designating the second and fourth Saturday of every month as the license to carry class. So they can get their license to carry in one day, or at least, get the training for it.
Yes.
They have to submit to the state, of course, to get the actual license.
Yes.
But along with that, we have a introduction to firearms class, which is very important because a lot of people come into the license to carry class thinking that it's a learning how to shoot, and it's not. Okay. It's you're expected to know how the rudimentary, fundamentals of firearms training and things like this, of being able to shoot a handgun. So the license to carry is really a Department of Public Safety law course, but there is a qualification to show that you have mastered the basics of firearms.
Yes.
So what we did, we instilled or instituted a introduction to firearms class to actually train people how to shoot.
Yes.
And this is also a one-day class, and it's very it's only $15. So yeah,
and it's about safety, about using it correctly.
Exactly. And so it runs about 6 to 7 hours, and everything's provided. We provide the firearms, the ammunition, everything, and it's we're all about firearms safety. If people are going to go ahead and get into the firearms sporting aspect or self-defense or whatever, we want to make sure that they are able to handle these things safely for themselves, for their families, and know the laws and know the rights and know the responsibilities. So we want to make sure we're a resource for that.
Okay. One of the things that, and of course there's so much to talk about, we've run out of time now, but I want you to give us the phone number once again, because I know you have a lot more to talk about.
Yes, yes.
And people probably have questions that they can call you. Where can they reach you?
The best number is 915-831-7118.
And remember, we just touched on the
yes, we did. But I'll be happy to come back and talk about the other areas.
Very good. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Barry Bogle, he is the director of the Law Enforcement Training Academy at the El Paso Community College, and they're located at the Mission del Paso campus. And we'll be back with more guests. We want to continue our conversations today about something really, really important and an event that's coming up. It's a national event. It's the National Senior Health and Fitness Day that's going to take place on a Wednesday, nationally, May 25th. And so we've invited some representatives from the Don Haskins Recreation Center, Parks and Rec, City of El Paso, and back again, Alfred Reeves. Thank you for being with us and coming again.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting us out. We'd just like to tell everybody about our big events coming up.
Great.
Again, I'm at Don Haskins Recreation Center.
Great, and then of course you've brought Pamela Lopez, and she's also going to share some information with us. Where do we begin? Okay, this is a national thing that you've joined for the second year, but you've been doing health and fitness things for many years, haven't you?
That's correct. But I'll let Pamela start and tell you a little bit about the event itself.
Yes, okay.
So we're teaming up in order to do the National Senior Health and Fitness Day. There's over 1,000 organizations that are affiliated. This is held annually the last Wednesday of May, and it's promoting health, focusing specifically on seniors. So we're just looking as far as to keep people active. We have some demonstrations from the classes we have, yoga, Tai Chi. We offer a variety of classes at the Recreation Center, so we'll be providing demos. We'll also have vendors there.
It'll be fun.
Yes.
Yes, and if you haven't tried anything with the demos, you can probably get up and do a little Tai Chi with the groups.
That's correct. I'd just like to briefly mention just the importance of why this day is so important.
Yes.
Health, you know, it's funny because I'm a senior, so when individuals come to the center and they talk to me, you know, so Al, you know, I'm elderly, I'm old, you know, but I stress to them the importance. As we get older, health and fitness will help improve our quality of life.
Yes.
You know, if you're active, it can help, you know, possibly reduce your cholesterol and different things like that. It'll help your range of motion. As you get older, we have seniors who fall. So
Yes.
Tai Chi, like you mentioned, Tai Chi, we have a new class called Wave. These things, they will help you with balancing, you know, because like I said, as we get older, you're just susceptible to falls. So the benefits is just a great quality of life. And when I say health and fitness, you do what you can do. Walk,
Yes.
run, swim, whatever you get enjoyment from.
Yes.
It shouldn't be something that you have to dread doing. It
Yes.
should be something that you put in your life to incorporate to make you feel better, look better, and it'll improve your quality of life.
And you'll live longer, healthier.
That's the most important thing.
That's like, yeah, you don't want to live longer ill and aching. You want to live longer healthier
That's correct.
and having a good quality of life. That's so important. Your center, Don Haskins Rec Center, is really popular over far west, right? And it's located at 7400
High Ridge.
High Ridge. That's where you're going to be having all the events. But there's others that might also be joining this Health and Fitness Day.
Yes, I believe if you go to the city's website, Happiness Senior Center over in North Carolina, they're also having an event that day.
Okay, super. Tell me some of the specifics of sponsors and events, and it's a full day. How long?
It's from 10 to 1 p.m.
Okay.
The sponsors are all health related, so either fitness. I also stress to people it's what we eat too. So when the health is health related, so what we eat, what we put in our bodies, are make up of who we are, physical fitness. And I also just like to put a disclaimer out before any exercise, especially seniors, please see your doctor first.
Make sure you get that permission slip.
Absolutely.
And how many exhibitors are you going to have out there?
Well, we're currently accepting applications for more vendors. Last year we had a pretty good crowd, and the fee is $45 per table. If anyone's interested, they can contact us at the center. Speak with myself, Mr. Reeves, or any of the center staff at 587-1623.
Great. Pamela. We'll ask for Pamela if you want to have a table out there. I'm sure there's a lot of, fitness centers and Zumba places, anything that has to do with fitness, health, nutrition. You welcome them, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, we wish you great success. Does it have to be just seniors?
No, it's actually the most important thing. Our event's free. Okay, so the public is free, but health and fitness is for everybody. So everybody's invited to the event. I mean, we're targeting seniors, but everybody is welcome. And like I said, we'll have different demonstrations, Zumba, our Tai Chi instructor will be there. Possibly we'll have a wave class. So all these different classes will be free. You can look at them. And you can get an idea of how they work and the benefits.
What's the wave thing?
The wave is a new type of exercise.
It focuses on balance.
Balance.
Really?
Yes. It's been compared to surfing. It's pretty interesting, pretty cool.
Is that electronic or is it
They
the
use
actual?
a basketball. It's a
Really? So we can find new ways to.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And as Mr. Reeves said, we invite everyone out. Starting a healthy lifestyle is key, at any age. So Please feel free to come out, check out any of our classes. We'll be more than happy to give you information. We also offer a weight room with ellipticals, machines, free weights. The staff there is trained. We can help answer any questions. And the great thing about our weight room is it's no contract. It's $18 a month, or if you're 60 and older, it's $9 a month.
Very reasonable and very affordable. And I have to get out there, really. I'm going to have to drive out far west to take advantage of your center. So you're asking banks and health clubs to come on out and be exhibitors, shopping centers, hospitals.
Yes, anybody, health and fitness.
Yeah, I just got something from one of the hospitals that they have a new program. I might have them call you so that they can get the word out. The more information we get out to the community, and you know, that's one of the things that I like about Mature Living, is that we get the word out.
That's true.
And that's what we want.
That's true.
So how many staff do you have out there, and they'll all be helping?
Yes, we have a total of 5 staff. That morning will probably be at least 3 of us, because we are open at night. But everybody's active, everybody's trained in the weight room, and everybody's very interested in helping our seniors. Yep. Would you share, Pamela, your phone number and anything else that you'd like to make sure that our viewers get to know?
Absolutely. So the phone number for Don Haskins, again, is 587-1623. We're open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday from 9 to 6, and Saturdays from 9 to 2. So please give us a call. We're located, like you said, at 7400 High Ridge over by Franklin High School.
Oh, over by Franklin High School. Very good landmark there. And I hope to make the rounds. Maybe I'll go to Happiness and then over there. And think about, you know, really seriously doing something. And I hope that place is jumping over on the west side. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
Yes. And we'll be back with some more guests here on Mature Living. And don't forget, May 25th, it's the National Senior Health and Fitness Day nationally. We'll be back. Well, thank you for staying with us. Before we go, though, we have one more guest. John Martin's going to be talking about the Opportunity Center for the Homeless and how we can all help and how we need to change our mindset about the homeless. He's involved with the fund development part of the Opportunity Center. So thank you for being with us here on Mature
Well, thank you
Living.
for inviting me. I'm really here enjoying it.
I know you have a very specific message that you want to press and present to us today, and talk a little bit about the center and how we can all help.
Well, maybe we'll start with just a brief explanation of the Opportunity Center for the Homeless, because many people are not aware of what they do, and in a large part that's due to their success.
Yes.
Okay, but this is a center that was started a little over 22 years ago by my boss and his wife, which is Ray and Lily Tullius.
Mm-hmm.
They themselves were homeless at one time, and they started within a warehouse. And the reason that they started is that there were a number of deaths on the street because of extreme cold. Those that were on the streets simply didn't have a place to go get warm. In fact, Ray would tell you if he was here that they didn't even have a kitchen for another 10 years. I mean, it was literally 4 walls and a roof.
Yes.
And so with that humble beginning, we now have a center that has 12 different programs.
Nice.
Each of the programs focuses on a different type of population that relates to homelessness. They include the elderly and the frail, families, the veterans. Mm. Okay, we have a safe haven for those that are mentally ill.
Yes.
And the list goes on. But what he's done is he sort of uses that shelter as the place of introduction, as the individuals come to us. And part of that magnet, what we call in-reach, in contrast to outreach, but in-reach, is we provide 3 meals a day. And anybody can take advantage of those meals. So that brings them to us, and then we can tap into all the services that are available to them. And I would be remiss in saying that the Opportunity Center does this by itself, but two of our strongest partners within the community that are also located within the building is Central San Vicente, that provides medical care.
Very good, yeah.
As well as Aliviane, which assists us with substance abuse related issues.
Yes.
And so as a direct result of that, you have one entity that cares on a nightly basis for over 50% of the single adult homeless population in El Paso.
Amazing and great success with a lot of hard work and a lot of help, I'm sure.
A lot of hard work and a lot of help, but here's something that'll surprise you. When they created the Opportunity Center, they did that through what's referred to as a recovery through service model. Over half of our employees are either currently homeless or formerly homeless.
Wow. Wow, that's
and so
amazing.
These are individuals with a lived experience that are helping those that are having a similar experience.
That is so good. One of the things that I know and I experience is that I kind of stereotype and I put everybody in the same bucket, you know, as far as homeless. Should we not be doing that? How can we change how we think about homelessness?
Rather than use the term homeless, think of them as people. And people come from all walks of life, have different attributes and different characteristics. And the same is true with those that are homeless. In fact, one of our colleagues that we work with at the University of Texas at El Paso, Dr. Eva Moya, has coined the phrase home free.
Oh, wow.
Because when you say homeless, there's sort of a stigma that's associated with that.
Yes.
Whereas if it's home free, it sort of breaks away from that stigma, breaks away from that stereotype. And you need to realize that these individuals are just like you and I. In some cases, they're there because they simply couldn't afford to pay rent. In other cases, it may be medical or mental health related issues.
Yes.
In other cases, it's the elderly. I mean, we have a number of individuals, one woman that I know of in her 90s, that was literally dropped off by her family.
Oh, amazing.
Because they simply didn't have the resources to care for her. She doesn't have papers, which means she can't tap into hospice and other related issues.
No services.
And so we've got to get away from that stereotype. And probably the most common is when you see somebody asking for money in the middle of the street.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll be the first to tell you through my work with the homeless over the last, how many years has it been now? Probably close to 12. Okay. Panhandling and homelessness are two separate issues. And in many cases, people elect to panhandle because they make fairly good money. And that's just their form of occupation.
Yes, yes.
In some cases, they are panhandling because they're homeless. But again, break that stereotype.
Okay, yes. And how can we help? How can we help the center and people?
All the homeless service providers in El Paso and the Opportunity Center is not alone. We have multiple partners within the community, and they all do incredible work, whether it be medical, mental health, and the list goes on, employment, education, as we work through it. But we're all going through a little bit of a change, and that change is illustrated through a shift in funding priorities at the federal level. Because the majority of funds that come into place that support this is through the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Yes.
And so they're really focused on the provision of housing through what they call Housing First.
Yes.
And a very simple way of looking at Housing First, it's in contrast to what we have typically done, not only in El Paso but in other areas of the nation, called Treatment First. And to simplify that statement, I'll be more than happy to get you a place to live, but you need to be sober first.
Treatment first.
Treatment first. Housing first, in contrast to that, they have found that in select cases, not all cases, but in some cases, that the recovery is expedited if somebody has a place to call home.
Yes.
And then they can access those services.
Yes.
I mean, I've had family members that were alcoholics, and however, they maintained a job, they kept up with their family, and they were able to pay rent. Okay, so don't make the assumption that we have to treat first, but that's in select cases. And so with the funding being directed to Housing First, what's happening on the other side of the fence is that safety net, that's those services that we generally refer to as safety nets, such as an emergency shelter. If you run into a problem at 2 in the morning, where do you go?
Yes.
Okay. And so we're seeing cuts funding on that safety net side of the fence. Now, HUD recognizes that you have to have both in place. But in direct answer to your question, which led to that explanation, we need the community to understand that we need their investment, not only financially, but in time, okay? Time, talent, and treasure, if you want to refer to it as such, to be able to assist us, because it's a little bit of a balancing act.
Yes. Okay.
Housing is critical. Services are critical. Having that emergency shelter is critical because one typically can lead to the other.
Yes.
And so we need that support, and I would be very remiss in not saying that we definitely do need financial support with regard to that safety net side of the fence.
You know, these little interviews are so quick. We do need a phone number where they can call you, and I'm sure that our viewers may have some more questions.
I would ask them to give us a call. I'm going to give you the office number, and that's area code 915. So it's located here in El Paso, 577-0069. And if you'd like to talk to me directly, and my name again is John Martin, my extension number is 272.
Okay, that's great. Well, I'm sure we'll invite you back again to have more conversation and topics that maybe we didn't cover. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
And thank you all for being with us as well. We'll see you all next week.